I sort of had a very strong idea of who the character was, and you know, and I was nervous about pitching it to him because Vin's characters are often strong alpha males who are very confident and are one step ahead of everybody else. And Bloodshot obviously is not that. He's still as physically formidable as some of Vin's other characters, and even more so actually once he's imbued with the sort of abilities that RST gives him. But from an emotional standpoint, he's very vulnerable. Like, he's being manipulated. He doesn't know who he is. He's broken. So, I pitched that is the version of who he is, and he was genuinely excited about being something he hadn't been for a while. So I knew we were off to a good start then, because that was the biggest, I thought, the biggest point about the character that I needed to get across, and he was on board from day one. I feel like I may have gotten spoiled on this one. Everyone from Asa Gonzalez to Guy Pearce to Sam Hewen to Toby Kebbell. I mean, I even remember just the day John called me and he's like, Toby Kebbell's interested in playing Axe. I'm a massive Toby Kebbell fan, so I was like, there were many wonderful moments of that. I had this tunnel sequence in my mind for years, and to seeing that, building that set, seeing it staged, seeing Vin do what he does in there, that was a pretty special moment, because I think you always allow for some level of we may not achieve as much as I had imagined it being, and I think we surpassed that, which is nice. It's just a pretty great feeling to, look at your concept artwork, look at your previs, and then to be sort of have the final product surpass that in every way is pretty special. I think that idea of manipulation through technology is something very sort of pervasive in today's sort of society, and I think from that aspect it is universal in who it appeals to. Sure, we have the action and the drama and everything like that, but the idea of sort of lives being controlled through technology is very, very relative to what's happening today. I mean, everything from social media to news to whether you Google the answer to the question or GPS told you where to go, or whether you swipe to left or right on Tinder, technology curates certain parts of our lives for us and presents choices. But the interesting part about those choices were curated from a list of 1,000 or 1,000,000 people, or 7 different routes you could take, and they're sort of distilled down into this is the box for you to choose from today. And that's the part that's fascinating about it. As long as we feel like we have agency in our lives, as long as we feel like we are making a choice, we feel like we're still in control. But the truth is, there are sort of companies beyond us or bodies beyond us that are distilling those choices down, and that's the fascinating part to me. That's why the idea behind the film was the sort of illusion of choice in a sort of technologically driven society. And obviously Ray Garrison's character is the epitome of that. They are, giving him a choice. He thinks he's making a choice in his life, but obviously he's not. Dalton's legs, obviously, we're seeing advanced prosthetics already, but I think it's there's a sort of class system that is coming that I don't think we're quite ready for. I think when you can, it won't just end at right now. The limbs are inferior to human abilities, right? But the point where those augmentations are superior to what we are born with, I feel like, and now you can buy strength. And I think more terrifyingly, when you can buy intelligence, what happens to us as a society when we're no longer defined by what we're born with, but what you can afford. I think, and there's even a term for it called transhumanism, where we sort of are able to alter ourselves beyond our sort of the physical state that we're born with. And it's an interesting question that I think is, you've seen it, there are countless science fiction books about it, and even scripts I've read, and I think it's a fascinating aspect to explore. Obviously, we only scraped the surface of it in this film, but I definitely feel like it's an aspect of our society that is sort of inevitable at this point, where we will move beyond our physical and sort of neurological limitations.